Perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Libra New Moon class. Today, we're going to be talking about how to attract anyone towards you using the multiple techniques that I'm going to be showing you today in this presentation. If you're watching this recording, make sure to subscribe. If you're brand new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you can hear me in the chat. If you're commenting down below, throw me a 111 because we're going to start something new. I've never taught this specific class with Libra before. I actually started last year doing these classes, and this is a really exciting one because Libra is in my 7th house. I have my Libra in Jupiter. I'm an Aries rising. Go ahead and type, what is your rising sign, in the chat for me. If you don't know your rising sign, if you don't know your time of birth, remind me at the end of the video, or I can link you to how to find your rising sign, how to find your birth time. That is very possible. If you know anyone who doesn't know their birth time, I can figure it out. It's a technique that has been passed along for years, and it's very easy to figure out. So everyone, also, if you know your rising sign, tell me what is in your 7th house, because that's going to be a big theme today in your chart. So what I want you to do, all of you, is we're going to be using a very specific website. So I do not want you using CoStar. I do not want you using AstroSeek. Today, we're going to be using the astro.com. Okay. And that is astro.com. All right. You're going to go to astro.com on your phone or on your computer. Computer is going to be preferred today. So if you can switch over to your computer, this is the right time to do that. And it's super important that you have your chart pulled up while you're watching this so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about while I'm talking about it, so it makes sense to you. Go ahead and type 222 in the chat if that stuck, if you caught that. Okay. If you caught that, go ahead and type 222, whether it's in the chat or in the comment section. Let's just spam the comment section with twos. All right. I love harmony. I love angel numbers. It's how I really got here. So let's just rock them out. Now, before I do anything else, there's something crazy I want to show you. How many of you have heard of the Forbes list? How many of you have heard of the Forbes list? The Forbes list. It's a list of people who are extremely successful, right? It's a list of people who are extremely rich. This is a big deal because the Forbes list is actually an asteroid, and it can tell you exactly how you get on the Forbes list, or at a minimum, how you can obtain the most amount of wealth. The planets definitely help. Venus, Jupiter, Pluto, all help, but there's an asteroid called Forbes. I'm going to show it to you real quick. This is it. Isn't it pretty? That's exactly it. No, I'm just kidding. This is the guy who discovered it, though. All right. This is the guy who discovered it, Michael Forbes. He discovered it in 1998. Okay. I'm going to show you today how to find Forbes in your chart. We're going to talk about it later, but I'm going to show you how to plug it in so that you can figure out how you become rich and successful in this lifetime, because that is one of the things that I know a lot of you care so much about, right? Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Type right or wrong in the chat. Do you care about becoming successful and never needing to worry about money? Because I have studied this for over 12 years on purpose, just to give you these answers and help you figure this stuff out, okay? So the asteroid number is 21409, all right? Everyone type 21409 in the chat so I know that you heard me. 21409. Perfect. So how to attract anyone? How many of you have attracted a person towards you and it fell apart? How many of you have attracted a person towards you and they ended up being a narcissist or toxic? How many of you have attracted someone towards you and it lasted for a week or a month. How many, who's fallen victim to their own manifestations? Hot and cold. Oh, you've attracted the hot and cold. I love that. You pour the tea, you walk away for 2 minutes, come back, it's ice water. Love that. That's the best feeling, right? No. So how to attract anyone with the Libra new moon? This is so cool. Let's dive into the presentation right now, Lorelai. Let's start timing. So the agenda for today, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and my astrology background and the overview. We're going to talk about the new moon in Libra. We're going to talk about how to manifest using Libra. I'm going to talk to you about how to attract anyone using astrology. I'm going to talk to you about how to follow through with your manifestations. There's a small part in there where I'm going to tell you how I can help you and how I've helped other people as well. And then we're going to have a Q&A. All right. The goal today is to have as much Q&A time as possible. So I'm going to be unmuting you every so often. If I ask a question and I ask you to unmute yourself, do not hesitate. Everyone type in the chat, do not hesitate. If you have a question, or if I ask you a question and I say unmute yourself and ask, I need you to interact because we're recording. So it needs to be live. Got it? Cool. Everyone type 999 to solidify that. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Lit. Let's dive in. So who the is this guy? My story. My name is John Lewis Williams. My name is not Sunny. I created Sunny. I killed John. I'm just kidding. John still exists, all right, on paper. But essentially, this is me. I created myself and I created this version of myself so that I could live out my purpose, okay? Everyone type purpose in the chat. Once I found out my North Node in 2018, once I found out my North Node, I decided I needed to recreate myself if I wanted to become successful, if I wanted to help people. How many of you have ever wanted to help people? You think your life purpose is to help people? Well, duh, that's obviously the only way you're going to become successful. But how do you help people is what we really want to focus on, okay? How do you help people? Now, my North Node is in Sagittarius. So what do? I teach, I talk, I give people information. It's ruled by Jupiter. So I'm constantly giving. And in return, the universe is constantly taking care of me. Who else has Sagittarius placements? I have a Sag Moon, Sag North Node in the 9th house. Who else has Sagittarius placements? If you have anything in Sagittarius, you're needing to give more and teach more. Wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, you need to be teaching, all right? Very simple. I'm about to make astrology simple today. So everyone in the chat type simple for me so I know we're on the same page. Simple astrology, okay? I will tell you too, I love astrology. I've been studying it for so many years. My childhood was actually astrology. Like, it was zodiac signs. My mom literally would have me read the newspaper to her and we would talk about her zodiac sign. I would read her zodiac sign. How many of you have read the horoscopes in the newspaper? When I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I had a speech impediment. I was very shy. I was very uncomfortable, okay? I didn't grow up with my father in the house, so I didn't really have a powerful voice. I was very quiet. So learning how to talk came through reading my mom's horoscope to her. Isn't it funny that when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I was reading horoscopes to my mom, and now I'm 29 in my Saturn return, I'm reading horoscopes to hundreds of thousands of women, 96% audience of women. Your life purpose, I promise you, is attached to your child, your inner child. Everyone type inner child. Your inner child and your purpose are aligned. If you don't know what your life purpose is, go backwards. Start working from backwards, okay? This is going to help you solve so much, because I fell in love with zodiac signs before I even knew about astrology, because my mom asked me to read her zodiac sign. What are we doing right now? It's that easy, folks. It's really that simple, okay? After I started learning that zodiac signs were an important theme in my life, what happened in between the middle? Because in between my childhood and me quitting my 9 to 5, I obviously worked a job, right? I'm going to talk to you about that later. I'm going to tell you what happened in that middle step later. So after I left Best Buy Corporate, Hewlett Packard, Apple, and Adobe, I worked for all 4 of these top tier technology companies. I quit. Why did I quit? Someone give me a reason why you would quit your job. If they're paying you $30,000 to $50,000 a year, you have all of the things that you could ever need, everything that you could ever desire is paid for. Why would you quit a job? Someone give me an answer, because I know for a fact there's someone in here who's working a job they don't like. They do it because they have to. They show up late because it doesn't actually resonate with their soul. Alyssa says tired. Lorelai says not your purpose. Noak says doesn't feel like it resonates. Amber says because you're not working for yourself. Facts. All of that, true. So after I quit my 9 to 5, I began my journey of reading tarot. After a few short months, I was engaged. When I was 21 to 23, I was engaged. I quit my job. My fiance and I broke up. Bunch of crazy shit happened. And one day I'm just on YouTube in bed crying, watching a tarot lady. The tarot lady's out here saving my whole life. How many of you watch tarot on YouTube? How many of you watch tarot, period? The tarot ladies out here, we got to show them the most love, because the tarot ladies are saving lives, honestly. When you're feeling lost, the tarot lady is there every time. Isn't that crazy? So after a few short months of buying my own tarot deck for myself, which, crazy enough, I'll tell you a short story. It got stolen, thrown in the trash. And then someone ended up giving me one, because apparently you're supposed to be gifted one, you're not supposed to buy your first deck. I don't know if that's true or not. I told you what happened to me. You interpret the story for yourself. After a few short months of reading my own tarot and reading tarot for my friends, people started reaching out to me. I would, I stay strapped. I was going to parties with my tarot cards. I was. You can tell by looking at me. I look like that guy. I would go to parties, I would go to events with my tarot cards. And if I didn't want to drink, if I didn't want to party, I would sit down on a couch or on a table and boom, I'm pulling cards, because I don't actually want to interact with the 3D things that are going on. So I'm like, let me pull myself back. Let me pull myself into myself, ground myself. And drunk people would come up and be like, bro, are you playing Yu-Gi-Oh? I'd be like, no. They'd be like, is that Pokemon? And I'd be like, nah. They'd be like, what is that? And then some other person would be like, oh, those are tarot cards. And then they'd start whispering. And then they'd come up to me 45 minutes later when no one was around and be like, can I get a reading? I have a question for you. And it became such a normal thing that people would ask me for help that I ended up just starting to charge people, because people kept giving me money. I didn't charge because I wanted the money. People offered the money, because what I was really doing is I was helping them solve a problem. I was helping them understand a difficult situation. So they felt like giving me money would buy me food. For the 30, 45 minutes that I was talking to them, I should eat food, right? Would you agree, yes or no? If someone helps you solve a problem, should you not eat? Should you not be able to buy yourself a pair of socks? Should you not be able to pay for your Netflix? Should you not be able to pay half of your cell phone bill or something if you're helping people, right? So the more you help people, the better. We'll get there. But people started hitting me up. Like literally, I would be in bed and people would be like, yo, there's a party tonight. You should come. And I was thinking, oh, bet. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm in. Then they'd follow up. Can you bring your cards? They'd be like, can you bring your cards? Can you make sure you bring your deck? So you can do readings. Would they be like, bro, do you want to make some money tonight? And I was like, sure. Like, I guess that's what's happening. This is literally a picture of me at a party giving someone a reading at a party. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way. You can tell I'm super hyped because I'm laughing because some guy who's super drunk had just come up to me and he was like, I love the scam you're running, brother. I see through the facade. I love it. I think it's so cool. You're just like pulling these cards and telling people whatever. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And funny enough, he's a Libra. Um, but he ended up asking me for a reading at another point, which is beside the point. But things will come full circle, especially when you start to embrace your spiritual journey. People will want your help and they will deny you first. How many of you have been rejected by your parents? How many of you have been rejected by a lover or a friend or a sibling for your spiritual practice? How many of you have been rejected and denied your abilities? How many of you have been rejected for who you genuinely are? And people still want your help. Isn't that interesting? So that's why I chose this job, because I love it. All right. So how did I get here? How did I get to you? That's the real thing. I want to talk to you about that. My spiritual gifts really started to expand when I started to use social media. The reason why we're going to talk about social media today, we're going to talk about manifestation, we're going to talk about Libra, we're going to talk about the charts, is because when you learn how to attract using social media, you don't have to leave your bed. One of my manifestations that I asked for, I think about 4 or 5 years ago now, is I want to be able to make money from my bed. I want to make money from I desire to make money from my bed. You see how I changed the words? Because the first set didn't work. The moment you say want, the manifestation's destroyed. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. 50 dub. Even got it tatted on me. Exactly, Ellie. You get it. You understand me. We speak in Draconese. You know, that's really what it comes down to. How to attract people in 2022. TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. How many of you are using TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram? How many of you are using TikTok, Twitter, Instagram? Now, this is the real confessional. This is what I want to know. I want you to go into your phone settings. I want you to go to apps. And this is where you got to be really honest with me. Can you be honest with me? Go to your settings on your phone. Go to TikTok. I want to know how many hours you spend per day. I already know it's over 1. I'm sure. How many hours are you spending on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram a day? Because this is huge. This is something in 2019, I went to Twitter, or excuse me, Instagram, because I wasn't really posting, but I was on it. I noticed I was giving up 3 hours plus a day. A day. Someone said, Carolina says 15 minutes. Daniela says 1 hour. Diara says 3 hours. Insta 2 hours. Nox says 5 hours. That's a whole shift. That's a whole shift at work. Literally. That's a whole shift. So I told myself, I'm not going to consume, I'm going to create. All right. And this is how I started to attract. On TikTok, TikTok is one of the most powerful apps. Did any of you know TikTok has become the greatest search engine over Google? You can look up anything on TikTok. You can look up how to make refried beans in any language on TikTok because there's going to be a video associated. And in fact, there's probably going to be 100. Google isn't optimized like that. Google, you get a whole bunch of links and a whole bunch of websites. It's actually becoming extremely inefficient. Google is becoming inefficient. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Isn't that unique? TikTok is becoming the most powerful app because you can literally go on and find anything or anyone within a matter of seconds. There's so much information on TikTok. And this is something that I noticed in 2020 when I started posting. 2019, I had already been posting on TikTok, but I realized TikTok can be used to attract anyone if you're authentic. Everyone type the word authentic in the chat for me. Type it in the comments too. Also, if you're pure and honest, people can see your face, they can hear your voice, they can tell. You can literally, people can say things, but then energetically you can feel also. You can feel, I'm talking to you, you can feel how genuine I am because I've done this class in several different ways in 17 different styles. So this is stuff that I really experienced, right? How many of you struggle with being authentic online or in person? Because I'm going to rip that facade away from you today, or at least try to. You might hold on to it. We'll see. We'll see. You get the freedom to express yourself. You get to be intimate with your feelings in a way that is public. Okay? That's amazing. How many of you are on Twitter? Twitter is another great platform for attracting people. Twitter is a great way to see the trends and the norms that are going on in the world. This platform is great for learning how people truly think because they don't get to talk. And a lot of people aren't necessarily good at public speaking, or they're maybe not good at acting. So TikTok's not like necessarily the best for them. Twitter, bro, Twitter is a war ground. The stuff that goes on Twitter is insane. Twitter's crazy. You can be on Twitter minding your business and see 17 fights. You can see how the politicians are changing over a bill. Within seconds, someone tweets about it. How many of you know Donald Trump? My man is a Sag moon. How many of you know Mr. Donald Trump? If you don't know how to use Twitter, that's okay. It's really just to go and talk, right? How many of you know Donald Trump? You've heard of him, right? No one's answering. Everyone's like, who's that? Everyone's like, never heard of this guy. Donald Trump is a Sagittarius moon like myself. I don't claim him. I'm just talking. He did a lot of communicating through Twitter because Twitter is a powerful platform. The next great leaders of the world are going to be efficient at using TikTok, I promise you. Because TikTok is the greatest platform on earth right now for us to communicate. All right. Instagram is my version of third. YouTube is not even on, YouTube is after Instagram. Instagram or YouTube still has more people than Instagram, but in terms of how to attract people, Instagram is a great way to attract people. How many of you have seen someone super hot on Instagram and you like their picture, or you save their post, or you DM them, or you followed them, or you turned on post notifications, or you watch their story every single day? How many of you have done that? Yeah? Instagram is another great way to attract people. Now, remember, if you're doing this, it's really hard, right? No one's going to come towards you if you're constantly swiping, right? So what do you think I'm going to tell you to do today? If you want to attract people in 2022, instead of scrolling these platforms, what do you think I'm going to do? What do you think I'm going to tell you to do? Start creating. Ellie says start creating. Carolina says post. Amber says don't scroll, post yourself. Alyssa says put yourself out there and create. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, how many of you have gotten yourself enrolled in any of my programs? How many of you have gotten a reading from me? How many of you have seen my other videos? How many of you have been read to filth by one of my videos? How many of you have ever experienced me in any way, shape, or form outside of this class? Knock says, I'm new to you. You're brand new? Can't wait to break you in. I'm so excited. Daniela says from TikTok. Lorelai says me. Daniela says TikTok. Amber says me. Perfect. So this is Jay and this is Juan. Jay is a stylist in Minnesota and a model. I met Jay through a friend. Our mutual friend was like, yo, you're going through it. You should probably talk to Sunny and he can give you a reading. She came to my apartment. This was like almost 2 years ago now, and I gave her a reading in my apartment, and we talked for a bit. How many of you know Juan Adams? Juan Adams is a UFC fighter. You can search him up, and you can search up Jay too. Juan Adams is a UFC fighter. He's also known as the Kraken. He is a competitive UFC fighter, blue check mark, a wonderful guy, Aries rising, Capricorn sun. Jay is a Taurus sun. So these are people that are naturally very grounded. So why are they coming to a Pisces? Because they needed intuitive help. And I was there. I just so happened to be the person. So let's hear from Jay real quick, testimony.
Hi, my name is Jay, and I just wanted to do a quick testimonial for Sun. We did a tarot reading yesterday, and it was amazing. 5 cards jumped out, and they were all just like spot on. This is the next day, and I feel so much better, and I just so recommend them. If y'all are interested, hit the link in their bio. I 10 out of 10 recommend. All right, thanks again, Sun.
Lit. Thank you, Jay. Gratitude.
Hey, I'm professional MMA fighter, Juan Adams. Been really...
I'm just going to pause this quick. Bro had actually just gotten done with a fight, like literally, I think like 24 hours after. And unfortunately, in this particular scene, he lost. I mean, he didn't lose. It was more like he was just getting ready for the next fight, you know? So, and he was really, really kind to give me a testimonial so soon after his fight.
Focused on my spiritual growth and journey the past 3 years, really. And right when I started, I kind of got connected with Sunny. And we quickly evolved from like just, occasionally talking online to trusted, spiritual confidants in each other. And his guidance has always led me to more clarity. He's one of the few people in that community that I trust completely with my information and, going to for spiritual clarity or things that I needed help clarifying because I wasn't getting the full picture. So, I highly recommend his services. I've gone from birth charts to his Discord to, just hitting him up randomly for, guidance or spiritual advice and things. And it's always been spot on. And on top of that, just the level of integrity that he has on things and the consistency that he's greeted every situation with has been truly refreshing.
Dope. That's so cool. Absolutely. This is being recorded. So that's Jay and that's Juan. Just these are the experiences that they've had with me. Obviously, Jay met me when I was still doing tarot primarily. But I did transition from tarot into astrology full time, mostly because I started to look at my chart. I started to understand, and thank you, Juan, as well. I started to look at my chart and really study myself. And I was like, you know what? Tarot is not my calling. Tarot is something that I'm very good at. And I have my cards here right in front of me right now, but it is not necessarily the depth that I need to be able to solve some of these things. And I noticed that astrology and zodiac signs have been in my life much longer. And this allowed me to understand on a deeper level what I needed to be doing with myself. How did you find tarot, or how did you find Reiki or astrology or crystals? What was it that brought you into your spiritual path, or into your calling, or into that curiosity? What was it for you? Because for me, it was my mom. My mom brought me in by helping me work on my speech impediment. What brought you in? What was it? Who was it? What year was it? What was that trigger? Was it a breakup? Was it a job loss? Was it a ending with a friend? What happened? This is a very important thing, because once you identify what that is, it's going to allow you to find your reason why. Okay. Finding your reason why is so important, because the moment you have a reason why, this is going to give you a reason for you to keep going. Okay. Now I need everyone in the chat to type "keep going." Keep going. Because this is a very important thing. When you are on your spiritual journey, it's very easy to quit. It's very easy to say, oh, I can't meditate today because I'm too busy with work and school. Or I can't do yoga. I can't do that free yoga class that's 10 minutes away because I'm tired and I need to lay down because my body hurts. Guess what, sweetheart? The yoga is going to help your body feel better. Oh, you're feeling exhausted and tired? The meditation is going to help you reset and balance yourself. So why do we avoid medicine as people? This is something I really wanted to learn, is why do we avoid medicine? Because the medicine doesn't even hurt. The medicine that doctors give us sometimes can hurt. It can really have some really crazy damage. But what about the spiritual medicine? If you're storing trauma in your hips, in your back, in your legs, in your head, yoga has been tested and proven throughout human history forever to repair us. How many of you have seen a baby when they're crying and they start getting moved around? Their parents or their grandparents start stretching them out. If you're, I'm just gonna say it, if you're non-white, you've probably seen a baby get tossed around like a little, like pizza dough. You've seen a baby when you're washing a baby, you just stretch out their arms, stretch out their legs, make sure their limbs are. Why do we do that? Is because the baby is traumatized. So you need to stretch out the body to release that tension, to release that energy. Okay. That's why when you wake up in the morning, some of you first thing you do in the morning, boom, you stretch. You go side to side, you give yourself that quick little, and then what? You stop, right? How many of you have woken up in the morning and stretched? This is a great question, right? How many of you have woken up in the morning and stretched and then you just stopped, or you went and did something else, or you hopped on your phone, or you started working or whatever, right? Astrology is stretching. It's stretching your mind. It's stretching your soul. It's stretching your energy. And it allows you to understand it at the same time. This is so important. So does everyone have their chart pulled up? Because we're about to get technical. It's time to get technical. Now we're going to read the charts, folks. Let's dive in. Pull up your chart, astro.com. Do not use CoStar. Do not use your apps. I need you to use astro.com because that's what I asked you to use. Daria says, wait. Baby girl, we've been here too long to be waiting. So no. Now that you have your chart pulled out, enter the date, time of birth, and location. I need you all to copy and paste this or screenshot it, pause the video, whatever you have to do, write it down, whatever you have to do to get this here. This is the trick. This is the key. This is the fastest way to understand your chart, okay? I designed this last year when I was going live daily to make sure that my audience understood astrology, because I was making videos and my followers, for some reason, kept saying, what does this mean? Can you tell me what this means for me? Can you tell me what this means for me? What this means for me? And I had just really stepped into my Sagittarius. What are my Sagittarius placements for those of you paying attention? What are my Sagittarius placements? Moon and North Node. Correct. What does North Node mean? If you remember me saying it earlier, what is North Node? I'm going to start to unmute y'all pretty soon. North Node is not career. Midheaven is your career. North Node is your purpose. Okay? North Node is your purpose. Midheaven is your career in your chart. Okay? So the moment I noticed that I was a Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. So all the fire signs, who are they? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Who can tell me what planet rules Aries? Mars. What planet rules Leo? Sun. What planet rules Sag? Jupiter, exactly. The moment I knew that I had an Aries rising, Aries Venus, Leo Chiron, Sagittarius moon, and North Node, I realized I have a lot of fire in my chart. I need to inspire and encourage people by being enthusiastic, okay? Why does that matter? Because the Aries rules the first house. Someone just asked, what do the numbers mean? Aries rules the first house, which means if you have planets in your first house, it is very important that you inspire and encourage people. Now, because I have an Aries rising, it also means I need to be the leader. I need to be the leader. I used to think because I'm a Pisces, I need to be the follower. I need to do what people say. I need to be kind of submissive, quiet, shy, all this stuff. My sun sign has nothing to do with the rest of the chart. I was using my chart wrong my whole life. Your rising sign is going to tell you how you move. It's going to tell you what your body looks like. It's going to tell you your personality. The moment I started inspiring and encouraging people and leading and starting things, guess what? My whole life changed. How many of you can say right now that I inspire and encourage you, I'm a leader, and I start things? Am I using my rising sign correctly now? Versus when I was being just a Pisces. Right? So this was my version of self-discovery. What is your rising sign? What are you supposed to do? Don't ask me. It's on the screen. If you're a air sign rising sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, it is important for you to start conversations. This is how you attract people. If you have a fire sign rising, you attract people by inspiring and encouraging. If you are an air sign rising, you attract anyone towards you by communicating and listening to them. Alexandra says, I'm a Libra and a Libra rising. I'm guessing anyone that you've dated, anyone that you've been interested in loves talking to you and you love talking to them. It's like a massive theme of relationships for you, is it not? Carolina says, I'm a sun in Cancer. Baby girl, we're not talking about your sun right now. We're talking about your rising sign. So big thing is when you have your rising sign down, the rest of your chart gets figured out. Okay. If you have an earth sign rising, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, you are someone who attracts by manifesting. Who knows what manifestation is? I'm going to unmute you so you can, I'm going to let you unmute yourself. Who knows what manifestation is? In one sentence or less. Who's going to get the first 10 points? What is manifestation? Stop being shy.
Bringing your thoughts into reality, making them tangible.
Yes. Making your thoughts into reality. Everyone type that in the chat. Manifestation is making your thoughts come true. Good or bad? Okay. How many of you have manifested before? How many of you thought about something and it happened? How many of you thought, oh my God, I'm so lit right now, or I'm so high right now, I need to go get McDonald's, or I need to go get a snack, or I'm so tired right now, I need to take a nap? That's manifestation. It's that simple. When you're manifesting a person, there's a few tiny things that you can really tap into. So let's talk about earth signs. We're just talking about earth signs. If you're earth sign rising, or earth sign 7th house, earth sign sun, earth sign Venus, you need to manifest. How do you manifest? By being practical. How many of you struggle with time management or being practical or making a decision? How many of you struggle with ADHD? By the way, I forgot to mention this. The reason why I had the speech impediment is because I actually have ADHD. It's not because I had a speech impediment. We found that out. I was on Ritalin from the age of 6, which I'm not even fully developed, until about 12. And then from 14 until about 20, I took Adderall. So I know what ADHD is. I have it, and I still get stuff done. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to work with that energy, because you probably have some mutable energy in your chart. Sag, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces. We'll get into that another time. Water signs. If you have a water sign placement, I know Alyssa has a Cancer moon, Drake has a Cancer moon. This is where you express your intuition. How many of you have heard of the artist Drake? Naomi asked, what does lead and start mean? Baby girl, that is not a question. You can't be seriously asking me that. I'm about to snap on you. No, I'm just kidding. Leading is taking the initiative. It's walking in front of the other people. When someone doesn't want to have a conversation, you start it. That's what that means. Leading and starting is genuinely starting. Even if you're afraid, even if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you don't know what you're doing. If you have Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, or Libra in your chart, you are supposed to just start. How you start doesn't matter. Naomi says, I'm a Drake girl from the 6. How you a Drake girl from the 6, but you don't know how to lead or start? That doesn't even make sense to me. Moving forward, water signs use their what? What do water signs do? Someone tell me, it's on the screen. They use their intuition and they express their emotions. What do earth signs do? You can unmute yourself too. What do air signs do? So water signs express their intuition. Earth signs manifest practically. What do air signs do? They share their ideas and listen. What do fire signs do? Who has fire in their chart, like me? Who has Aries, Leo, or Sag? What do fire signs do? Unmute yourself. Talk to me. I want to hear your voice. I'm in my apartment alone secretly, but I'm with you digitally. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy? You can't. Huh. Apologies. So now let's do the next layer. Now that we know how to inspire, encourage, listen, communicate, manifest, and express your intuition, before we even continue, real quick, I want to ask you real quick, if you right now could inspire, encourage, listen, communicate, manifest, be practical, express your intuition, would life be hard for you if you could do all of those pillars? If you could do all of those pillars, would life be hard for you? Yes or no? I want to tell you something. You have all of these zodiac signs in your chart. You just simply need to study all of them and understand how it works for you. A lot of people come into my comment section. A lot of people DM me. They're like, Sonny, I don't have Libra in my chart. And I'm like, who the fuck is lying to you? Yes, you do. It's right in between Virgo and Scorpio. And I'll circle it and I'll send them a message back with their chart and say it's right there. Did you know you have all 12 zodiacs in your chart? Did you know that all 12 zodiacs are called an ecliptic? They're called an ecliptic. An ecliptic. Ecliptic. What does that mean? It means all the zodiacs are together in your chart, which means, how do you become a well-rounded person? If I were to ask you how you become a well-rounded person, the chart is literally the shape of a circle. How do you become a well-rounded person? Someone unmute themselves. The answer's on the screen, by the way. How do you become a well-rounded person?
Adapt, change, question mark?
Don't ask me questions. I'm asking the questions. It's on the screen. I'm so rude.
Follow through.
I love
Consistent.
you. Be consistent. Yes. How else do you become a well-rounded person? Keep going. I want you to look at this row.
Yeah,
and
lead
this
start. All of that. Lead start, adapt, change, follow through, consistent.
And then what else?
Express intuition, manifesting, listen, inspired.
Yes. So if you use every single thing in your chart, this is where you start to step into your power. This is where you start to step into your strength. The moment I started using my whole chart, I have Taurus, for example, in my second house, no planets. Taurus is in the second house, which is the money house in astrology. It shows you where you make money, how you create income, how you create revenue. It shows you your home. It shows you your family. It shows you your DNA, your genetics, how you inherit, all these things, right? I don't have planets there. Does that mean I don't make money? Does that mean I don't have Taurus? No. It means that I need to be practical about money. I need to be practical when it comes to my family. I'm probably going to have to be the person who manifests in my family, because Taurus is a what sign? What element is it? It's not water. It's not fire. What is it? Earth. Exactly. So that's how I was able to ground myself, because I have an empty Taurus. I also don't have any Virgo. Virgo is in my 6th house, which is the house of work. I don't have planets in my 6th house. Does that mean I don't work? No. It means that I need to work like a Virgo. How do Virgos work? How do Virgos work?
Manifesting practicality.
Perfect. And how do you manifest? You take an idea.
Making your thoughts come true?
You take an idea in your head and you bring it out of your head. You don't keep it in your head. You take it out of your head. All you Geminis and Virgos are probably exploding right now. You take an idea out of your head and you put it into the world, okay? This is so important, because if you're an overthinker, you need to be overdoing too. A lot of Virgos like, oh, I'm an overthinker. And then we'll talk for a little bit and I'll read them and I'll be like, oh yeah, so what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm overthinking. I want to do so much, but I just don't know where to start. And I'm like, just start. And they're like, I don't want to do too much. And I'm like, but you're doing too much in your head. What do you mean? If you're doing too much in your head and it's disabling you, it's making you not move, it's making you not operate, it's making you feel unconfident, it's not helping you, why would you not start doing more stuff? Is this making sense to anyone? Am I speaking to anyone? No one's typing. I'm alone again. Oh my God.
You're kind of hurting my feelings, but in a healthy way.
I'm here to help, I promise. So, and your feelings, I promise you, I'm going to bring them. If you are comfortable surrendering, I'm going to bring them back into a healthy, beautiful, sprouting tree. Strong, beautiful, strong tree. Okay? So
I really thought the rising sign was the sun sign. So I can't even read my chart. Like, I don't understand how to read my chart. So I'm a little lost. I'm listening, but I don't know how to look back into my chart when we are talking, you know, because I can't read the chart.
I promise you, Carolina, that's what this whole class is about.
All right.
If you bear with me just a few more moments, I'm going to literally teach you. Like I promised. Do you remember I told you I would show you?
Yeah.
Can you give me a chance?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I want to show you how to do this because it's not hard. I think a lot of people complicate it. And also, I'm not even going to blame the people who are trying to learn. I'm going to blame the people who teach, myself included. We don't make it easy enough. So that's why I'm giving you this chart. Has everyone copied this? Okay, because Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, you need to start. Right now, the sun, right now it's Libra season, which means what should everyone be doing during Libra season? If Libra is a cardinal sign, what should everyone be doing? Even though it's retrograde, what should everyone, and there's 6 retrogrades happening. It's not just one, there's 6. What should everyone be doing for the next 30 days?
Start their projects.
Yes, you should be leading. You should be starting. you should be listening, and you should be communicating.
Mm.
Those are the 4 main things that you want to do for the next 30 days. If you're feeling lost, if you get suddenly more depressed than normal, if something happens and you just didn't even see it coming, guess what? Listen, talk, lead, start something new. If something ends, start something new.
Okay.
If you start something new and something ends, perfect. You're using the energy correctly. Okay. What do fixed signs do? What do Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpios do? Why are people so addicted to Scorpios and Leos and Aquariuses and Taurus? Because they follow through. Most of them. Even if they don't try to, they do. That Scorpio that you just can't get over, every time you want them to come over at night, they do it. They do it. When they're toxic and you just love it low key, guess what? They're being consistent and you like that. Even if it's negative consistency, it's still consistency, and it's probably something that you need in your life. Right? If you have a lot of Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo friends, you need more change in your life. You need more adaptability. That's why these people are there. This is how you manifest. So during Libra season, how do we attract anyone we want? Someone tell me. What does Libra
Lead
mean?
and start, or
Yes.
intellectual
Exactly.
communication.
Correct.
But I have something very conflicting. I actually create a new page on Instagram, and I let my passion out, and I feel amazing. But I just deleted the app today. All of a sudden, I just feel like I need to back off. But it's so opposite from what you're trying to teach us. It is Libra season. We should be late. But I feel like I want to go inward.
That's okay. Going inwards is, I would say, a very important piece. Sometimes you must take a step back to go forward. It's so important. I know y'all see me post every day, but there are days where I won't post a specific type of content because I don't want anyone DMing me. I don't want anyone talking to me.
I think that's what exactly I'm trying to find that balance. And I'm a Libra as well. Libra, Venus, Libra Sun, a lot of Libra in my chart.
Yeah.
So I sometimes express too much on Instagram. And that's why I feel like I need to pull back.
That's okay. And finding balance, you said it correctly. That is exactly the goal. As a leader, you need to be able to know when you should be going forward and when you should be going back. And if you're sharing too much, then maybe you should redirect and make a small change and share the right things. Because a big piece of being an air sign, and during this next 30 days, you can communicate and communicate and communicate and communicate and communicate and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but then no one's going to want to listen to you. So one of the things you've probably seen if you've been following me on social media for a while, I ask a lot of questions. What's your Venus? What's your Jupiter? What's going on with you? Tell me in the comments section. Tell me here. Talk to me. You talk to me. I don't want to talk. You tell me what you are. You need to have that kind of rapport when you're using social media. You can't just blast all the time, because then you're being a bad host. You're a bad waiter. If you walked into a restaurant and they just gave you a plate of food, and then you have to pay for that food, you wouldn't eat there, right?
I write too much. I don't do any video content like you're asking questions stuff. I'm still have that doubt and fear, like shy.
That's okay. If you are shy and you don't want to do videos, still ask questions, type them. Because you're going to invite people to comment and engage with your content. I'm shy too. A lot of people don't know this. I tell people I'm shy and they're like, no, you're not. Little do you know, I'm in my apartment, doesn't matter where I am in the world, I'm in my apartment for 12 hours by myself, not talking to anybody. I've had dating coaches. I've had sales coaches. I had a job that they didn't force me, but the rule was, and it was a rule, I had to talk to 100 people a day at the mall. While people were walking, minding their business, I was that guy who was in a suit that was a little bit dirty. And I'd be like, oh, hey, can I talk to you real quick about something? But I wouldn't say that, obviously, because that never works. But I was that guy. I had to talk to 100 people a day, even though I'm shy. So I got really good at when I do talk to someone, I'm listening more than I'm talking. Or if I am talking, I'm talking about that person and how I can help them. I just completely remove myself. So all that me being shy, it disappears because I'm so focused on you. You probably don't even notice that I'm like scared to be talking to you. You probably don't even notice that I'm scared to be doing this presentation. You probably can't, because I've practiced this so much, you probably don't see how Lorelai and I have been, well, at least I've been freaking out for the last 36 hours to get this presentation done, to make sure I'm saying the right things. But it comes off as confidence because I've done it so many times. Okay. So everyone type practice in the chat for me, because that's really what it comes down to, is practice. The more you practice anything, 5 years from now, I could tell you I'm shy and people will be like, bro, you're lying. And I'll be like, no, I'm literally shy.
I think I am selective extrovert. So completely introvert, people don't believe me, but I'm selected who I will be extrovert with. And then they will think I'm extrovert, but I'm actually not.
Exactly. You're getting it. Perfect. So everyone has this, right? Let's dive into the next part, because this is where everything's going to make sense. Real quick though, before we do anything, let's talk about the planets. Mars, the sun, and Jupiter are also the planets that rule inspiration and encouragement. If you're confused on how to be encouraging, how to be inspirational, look at Mars, the sun, and Jupiter in your chart. For example, if you have a Cancer Mars, you would inspire and encourage people by using your intuition and expressing yourself. Does everyone see how I did that? Just type a 111 in the chat. If you have a Cancer Mars, Mars is right here. Mars means to inspire and encourage people. If something that you struggle with is inspiring and encouraging people, and you have a Cancer Mars, we go to Cancer here and we would say, oh, I inspire and encourage people by expressing myself and using my intuition. Do you see how I add them up? Okay. Now, if you have a Venus in Libra, how do you use a Venus in Libra? Well, you listen and communicate. What is your love language? Listening and communicating. And you're probably going to fall in love with someone who's a leader or someone who's good at starting things. Or you're attracted to those people, or you attract those people. Okay. So this is why it's so important to have this, and we're going to use it later. So let's talk about Libra. I'll see you later, Ali. In astrology, Libra represents the scales. These scales reflect Libra's ideals of balance, harmony, and listening and communicating. Libra likes symmetry and strives to create equality and fairness in their life. Libras are social, idealistic, natural, peacemakers, and they're witty. Okay. Libra is ruled by what planet?
Venus.
Venus. The element is air. The modality is cardinal, and they are known as the diplomat. Sometimes you can also see them called the judgment card or the judge. All right. So let's keep going. Now, the Libra new moon, the time to manifest is Sunday, September 25th, 2022 at 5:55 EST. The window is 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. And to be honest with you also, the entire time that the moon is in Libra, you should be manifesting. Okay? The entire time that the moon is in Libra, so Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, you should be manifesting. What should you be manifesting with in your chart? The air sign placements, which means it's an important time to listen and communicate. Both. Not just listen, not just communicate. Find the balance between the two. Number two, those with cardinal placements. So if you're an Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, or you have those planets in your chart in those houses, this is a very important time for you to start and lead these next 30 days. Number three, those of you seeking money, beauty, or romance in your life, this is what you should be manifesting in your life. What I recommend is you look at your 7th house. Naomi says, I can manifest anything because my chart is full of air. Exactly. Number four, those who want to attract relationships. Libra rules with Venus, which means Venus, which is the planet that rules over relationships and money both. This is a good time for you. Where is your Venus in your chart? We're going to talk about that in a second. Also, if you want to manifest success, this is a really good time to do that, especially with other people. This is going to happen for you because Libra new moon is a new opportunity. New moon means new opportunity. New. Everyone type new in the chat. New moon means new. It's time to start something new. All right? Is everyone following along perfectly? Say yes or no. Perfect. Perfect. So, next, finding Libra in your chart. Everyone has Libra in their chart. Everyone has it. Look for Libra in your chart. It's going to look like this symbol, okay? It's going to look like this symbol here. Find the house that Libra's in. Someone tell me, everyone tell me, where is Libra in this chart? Yasmin's chart. Where is Libra? Where do you see this symbol? And you can even, if you look here really closely, you can see the numbers on the inner part of this wheel. What house does Yasmin have Libra in? The 11th house. Perfect. Everyone, tell me, where does Yasmin have Libra? You can see this little 11 here, right? Everyone, even if you don't know, I'm showing you and we're telling you, 11th house. Where do you have Libra? I have it in my 7th house. Where do you have Libra? Comment for me. 1st house, 9th house, 8th house, 6th house, 4th house. Have y'all memorized the house meanings yet? Not yet, maybe, right? So Yasmin has Libra in the 11th house. Amber says, I cannot find the sign. Keep looking. Oh, she says, I see it, never mind. There we go. Very proud of you. Never give up. keep going. So Libra's in the 11th house. Do y'all know what the house meanings are yet? Have you crushed that? Probably not. I'm going to help you. Manifesting using the house that Libra is in. This is so important. So the 11th house rules all of these topics. And when I ask you to look at the house, I don't want you to give me the top 3. I want you to give me all of the words. I'm going to ask you in a moment to tell me all of the words that are in the house that you have Libra. In fact, you should be starting to look at those words now. Some of you said you have it in the 5th house, 9th house, 10th house. Guess what? Here's the 5th house. Here's the 9th house. Here's the 10th house. What does Libra mean for you? Where do you need to lead, start, communicate, and listen? And then you want to use all of the meanings that is in that house. Not 2, not 3, not 4, all of them. Both of them. You feel me? Daria says careers, long-term, and structure. Wrong. Incorrect. Wrong. There's more in there. You only gave me 4. Incorrect. Jashawn says endings, healing, closure, spirituality, etc. Wrong. There's more in there than that. You're being lazy, and that is not going to help you make an absurd amount of money. That is not going to help you make a 60-year-long marriage work. If you want to have a long-term relationship, if you want to have a business or something that's giving you money in a crazy way to where you have freedom, you can't be cutting corners, folks. Etc. is not in the chart. I want you to write down everything that is inside of that house, because every single piece of it matters. Because the new moon is going to be crossing that part of your chart and giving you a new start in every single piece that is in that house. Am I being super clear? Why we can't just say etc.? Why we can't just give 4 meanings? Because the 10th house, if you have a 10th house Libra, guess what? You have the next 30 days to acquire fame. But if you stop at career, long-term goals, and structure, you can't even repair your relationship with your dad now. The masculinity that you have in your life, you may be attracting toxic masculine people, or you might have toxic masculinity within yourself. This new moon is going to give you a new opportunity to change that. What if you want to manifest love, but Libra's in the 9th house? It means you're not supposed to manifest love right now, babe. You missed that window. Every single new moon, you're not supposed to chase money and love. That's not how this works. Okay? You're supposed to focus on the area of your chart that the new moon is in to manifest those things. Every single year, you get 12 chances at manifesting something new. Remember what I said earlier? Well-rounded. If you use every single month correctly, you are going to have a really good year because you will have manifested everything in all 12 houses. But if you're focused on your ex and getting a new job and feeling secure, guess what? You're missing out on literally 144 other opportunities because you're on a one-track mind. Okay. Nook says, now I understand why my intuition is about going inward. Correct. So every month offers you a new option. Amber says, how would you interpret Libra in the 8th house? I'm going to unmute because I want someone to answer because it's on the screen. How would you interpret Libra in the 8th house? I'm not answering this. Someone tell me. Unmute yourself and someone tell me how we would interpret Libra in the 8th house. Libra, by the way, what does Libra mean? Amber, actually, I'm just going to pick on you since you're asking the question. Amber, unmute yourself. Stand up. Let's talk. What does Libra mean?
What does Libra mean? It's in Venus.
No. Slow down. You're thinking too much.
Okay. Libra.
What does Libra mean? Libra is a cardinal sign, meaning what?
Yes, lead and start. So like the starting. Listen and communicate.
That's what Libra means, okay?
Okay, on a basic. Okay.
Libra rules the planet Venus, which does have to do with love and money, okay? So that's the first part. You asked, how would you interpret Libra in the 8th house? So now that we know what Libra is, what is the 8th house, Amber?
Merging, sex, intimacy, shared finances, inheritances, taxes, loans, assets, property, joint ventures / goals, mystery, partners, resources.
Beautiful. Now, how would I interpret it and how you would interpret it's very different. I need you to try, though. You know what Libra means. Libra means starting, leading, communicating, and listening. How do we apply that to sex?
Communicating, maybe starting.
Don't say maybe. Tell me.
Like
get uncomfortable.
Or maybe even, I think for me, because I'm single right now, a lot of things, I think I was interpreting it more like in the shared, like, oh, like, how can I do this if I'm single? But I'm thinking more about like intimacy with self, like merging, getting to know myself better. Also, I'm thinking about like potential new business partners or even like starting things with family and friends. I think that's the lens that I'm seeing more now. Whereas first, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, like if it's not romantic, like how can I do it in this like season, you know, or in this time? But yeah.
The 8th house, a lot of people confuse the 8th house and Scorpio and Pluto and Capricorn with death. It's so much deeper than that. When you're using the 8th house, my interpretation is it's time for you to start merging with people, start connecting with people, being more intimate, and you need to be the one to initiate it. Not them, you. If you've always been in the passenger seat, baby girl, you need to take the wheel now. If you have joint ventures or goals with people and you've been struggling to start a business, start a project, start something, you still need to work with other people, but you need to be the one to start it. You need to be the one to plan the dates. You need to be the one to remind everyone to show up. If you want,
I'm taking notes.
If you want intimacy or sex, you can go hunt people at the bar. There's tons of vulnerable people at the bar. You can go hunt them. You can go hunt people at the library. You can go hunt people at the beach. I'm saying the word hunt because it's like really wild. But if you want something, you need to be the one to initiate it. If you want to be more mysterious, you need to communicate mystery. You need to be listening more to attract people. Is this making sense? You see how I'm just literally taking the meaning of Libra and the house and just...
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Don't complicate it. Do not complicate it. Because the moment you do, you get confused and then you start commenting in the comments and it's very low percentage that I'm going to be able to answer you. Because there's hella comments, right? Because I ask really good questions and a lot of people talk because I use my Libra Jupiter in my 7th house. I'm very good at forming relationships. Amber, you did that. I didn't do it. I just helped you. You did it. So thank you, honestly, for being brave and standing up and answering your own question. So where does everyone else have Libra in their chart? Who else wants to tell me? And don't ask me, tell me what it means, please. What does it mean for you?
So for me, it's in my first house, which is self-appearance, beginnings, the body, first impressions, attitude, identity, and approach to life. And this is kind of lining up with what I've been working with, because I've been big all my life, and I've been trying to lose this weight, and I've been doing really well since I was like about 400 pounds 4 years ago. And since my ex kicked me out of our house, I was homeless, went through a lot, and I lost a good 100 pounds, and I'm still on that track. So I've been doing keto diet here and there, and just kind of balancing, what I eat and working out. So what I think is good for me is just listening to my body, trying to make sure, like, if I'm sick, why am I sick? That kind of thing, as well as just looking over my diet plan, looking over my workout plan, because I kind of went off my diet this week, just had a lot happening with work, and getting ready for a trip. So I'm just like, I don't want to cook, So just since we're in retrograde as well, since Mercury is in retrograde, it's time to listen to my body, trying to understand, replan my diet, replan my workout. And, I just decided I'm also going to make affirmations for this topic. Like, I am making healthy choices, and I'm going to record those and turn it into an MP3. That way I can listen to it over the course of the new moon, and just this next week, especially when I'm flying in and out on my trip.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And being proactive, taking lead, starting something new. You're doing exactly the thing. One other thing I would love to add to what you're saying, something that I didn't include it in this presentation because I didn't want to be that vulnerable, but we're here. When I was struggling with being overweight, which was a lifelong thing, has been, one of the things that I learned recently is to talk to your body. Communicate with your body, especially if you're a Libra rising. I dated a girl who's a Libra rising. She's an Ayurvedic coach. You, as a woman, you have amazing intuition. So when you ask your body, or you tell your body, yo, tell me what we need to eat today to feel the most energetic. Tell me what we need to eat today to burn off the most fat. Your body's going to give you a craving. Your body's going to start wanting something.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. Thank you for telling me that. I just wrote those down too in my little notebook. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, congratulations on the grind. Like, it's a real one, and it's a beautiful one. And you're doing great, really.
Thank you.
100%. Keep going. So let's keep it going. We're doing amazing, everyone. So manifestation examples, if you have it in the 11th house. The 11th house is a really great house. I still want you to kind of study this house in your own chart, because the 11th house is the house of friends. It's the house of community. It's actually the house of wishes. So if you've ever watched any of my new moon videos, I do tell everyone, if you want your wishes to come true, or excuse me, if you want your manifestations to come true, you should be making wishes. Wishes are way more potent than a manifestation. Manifestation is just you're pulling an idea out and making it real. When you make a wish, this is from a soul level. Everyone type the word soul in the chat. This is a soul level thing. When you make a wish, how many of you have heard of a genie in a lamp and you get 3 wishes? That's a perfect example of a manifestation. You think of something and this divine being brings it to you. What? That's crazy. Okay, sign me up. Once you start making wishes with your 11th house, this is going to be huge. I'm not going to go too much deeper than that, but for this example, Yasmin has Libra in the 11th house. So what you would write down, everyone type write down. I know that's counterintuitive, right? Type write down is I'm gaining followers and growing an online community. In the present tense, it either needs to be present or past. No more future tense. No more, I want to help people. No more, I want to quit my job in 3 months. No more, I'm going to have the best relationship ever. No, you have it now, right now, in the moment. That's how we truly manifest. I am finding success online and my content is trending. Why? Because it's in the 11th house and it has to do with technology. The 11th house has to do with technology. If you ever want to know, by the way, how to go viral on TikTok, how to go viral on YouTube, how to gain the most followers, look at your 11th house. I have Saturn, Aquarius in my 11th house. That's why I always talk about weird things. I always talk about different ways to use astrology. I always talk about rules and restrictions around manifestation and how to break them. Okay. So write down, everyone type 11th house, because if you want to learn how to go viral, it's in your 11th house. The secret is there. You don't even need planets. You don't need any planets in your 11th house at all. Zero. You don't need any. You just need to know the zodiac sign. Number 3, the friends I choose to have in my life have only the best intentions for me. Jeb says, when we look at our chart, should we look at our natal chart or a progress chart? Both BOFFUMMN. Both of them are going to give you insight. Both of them are going to give you insight. Your natal chart is a static chart. It's just your birth chart. It's your map. Your progress chart is going to show you currently your energy. I love looking at my progress chart to see what's going on now. And I love looking at my natal chart to see what's going to happen. You should also write she wrote here, my future goals, manifestations, and endeavors come to me quickly with good intentions. That's how we manifest, folks. Nook asked, I have 3 planets in Sag in the 11th house. Should I study the planets in the 11th house? Everyone, collectively, let's answer for her. 1 second. I'm going to let you all unmute yourself. Everyone collectively, should Nook study all 3 planets in the 11th house? 1, 2, 3. Terrible, horrible. One more try. Okay, everyone?
Yes.
Everyone, hold on. I need more people to unmute themselves. Collectively, Nook, should Nook study not only the 3 planets in her 11th house, but should she study her whole chart collectively? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
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 Yeah. I hope you feel ashamed for asking that question because that was silly. Of course, please. It will only benefit you. It will only benefit you and the other people around you. If you want to help people at the highest level, study yourself. Why do you eat eggs? Why do you wear that clothes? Why do you wear black all the time? Why do you do this? Why do you love watching that TV show? Go deeper. The deeper you go into understanding yourself, the better. So this is how you attract anyone, all right? Using Libra in your chart. The ruling planet is Venus. Venus is related to beauty, love, romance, money, art. Libra rules over your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of what? Who's got me?
Relationship.
What else?
And partnerships.
Keep going. It's on the screen. No excuses.
Relationships, marriage, contacts, business
Say it with some
partners.
enthusiasm. Don't sound so bored. Jesus.
Sorry. Equality, sharing, interpersonal style. Yeah.
There you go. You sounded like I was like pulling a stick out of your butt. What the heck?
It's probably because it's super early and we're all sound like zombies. Yeah, I woke up at 3 a.m. for this class.
I woke up at 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m.?
It's 4:30 a.m. right now.
It's
Y'all supposed to be drinking. Y'all supposed to be drinking. Don't the kids drink? Oh my God, I'm getting old.
I am drinking coffee. I'm drinking. I'm on my first cup. I actually went to bed. Like, I didn't even finish my work shift from home, and I went to bed at 8 o'clock just so I could get up for this class.
I rock with y'all heavy. I was gonna make time. I was gonna make it for y'all's time, but then I was like, I'm just gonna shoot off the recording, and the people who are supposed to be here are supposed to. So thank you for showing up as usual. The other ways to manifest using Libra in your chart. So what's the first way? Libra house. The second way, your Venus sign. And how do we know how to manifest with our Venus? We just look at the zodiac sign. So for example, if someone has a Venus in Cancer, you manifest by leading, starting, and expressing and using your intuition, okay? And you can just look at the planet and look at the element. It's really easy. What's another way to attract anyone towards you? You look at your 7th house. Why? Because it's the relationship house. It's literally the house that deals with your connection with other people, because the first house, your rising sign, is your relationship with yourself. Will the recording be available later on? 100%. Next, marriage, interpersonal style, and contracts and business partnerships also comes through the 7th house. So finding Libra in your chart, finding Venus in your chart, and finding the 7th house in your chart will be the way that you attract people. If you do all of the things that your Libra house wants you to do, if you do all the things that your Venus sign is asking of you, if you do all of the things that Libra, 7th house, and Venus want you to do, you will start to attract people who are in alignment with you romantically, through business, through network, through karmic contracts that you have with them. This is incredible. This is so powerful because it tells you what you need to focus on for the next 30 days. Instead of you spinning and guessing and worrying and being in a state of anxiety and overthinking, you can just rely on, oh, what's in my 7th house again? How do I make this relationship better? I always argue with this person. I always argue with my mom. Or I haven't dated anyone in like 2 years. How do I attract a healthy relationship because I've been traumatized by a narcissist? Or anything that's going on can be solved by addressing the needs of the Libra house, the 7th house, and the Venus sign. Everyone spit that back to me. The Libra house, the 7th house, and the Venus sign. Libra house, 7th house, Venus sign. Type that out for me so I know we're on the same page. How do you attract anyone? I'm giving you the answer because I know someone in the chat, someone in the room, someone watching this video is going to be like, so how do I do it? You need to look at the Libra house, the 7th house, and your Venus sign, because they're going to give you the clues. If you take all 3 meanings and you do all 3 things, you will attract people. Someone says, does it matter if I have planets? Everyone answer collectively in the chat. Does it matter if you have planets? Did I even say planets? No, you don't need planets. I told you the planet you need. It's Venus. You said, okay, smiley face. You asked a goofy question. I said it like 8 times. I love having a Pisces Mercury. It's so funny. I literally love it. So tell me again, how do we attract anyone that we want? Libra house, 7th house, Venus sign. Okay. If you want to attract anyone towards you, this is going to work. I noticed this when I had a dating coach roughly 8 years ago. No, excuse me, 6 years ago. My dating coach told me, you're too passive. My Libra house is in the 7th house. Libra needs to start and initiate, right? So I thought I needed to initiate all of my connections. I was wrong because I wasn't looking at my Venus sign. My Venus sign's in my 1st house. So wherever you have Venus, this is how people get attracted to you. Most people don't have Venus in the 1st house. Most people have Venus in other houses. But when you have Venus in the 1st house, I open relationships towards myself just by being myself. And this was something I struggled with when I first started dating. I thought I needed to be a certain type of person to attract a healthy relationship. Instead, I've learned through my content, through making art, through my friendships and past relationships, the more I am me, the more I use myself, the more I love myself, the more I use and focus on my appearance, the more I start things publicly. I don't know, have any of you noticed I start classes all the time? I'm always like, oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. Come here. Da 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 da. I'm always beginning something. Why? Because it makes me more attractive. Because it's in my 1st house. My Venus is in my 1st house. Why do I go to the gym? Why do I go to the gym? Why do I eat healthy? Why do I show on my story what I'm eating, or when I go to the gym, or when I'm stretching, or when I'm walking or doing something? Because my body is where my Venus is. I attract people by showing them my body. Yeah.
I have a question in that case.
Cool. Don't interrupt me. Let me finish.
My bad.
So I love having a Pisces Mercury. It's hilarious. So my first impressions are very important for my Venus as well. Why? Because that's where my Venus is. So you want to apply your Venus to every single piece, okay? My attitude, even me having a good attitude or a negative attitude, everything in between comes off as attractive to people because that's where my Venus is. When it comes to my identity, I just need to know what that is. So you see how I'm just taking the words out of the house and I'm just making it make sense. I'm making a complete sentence. I'm not guessing. I'm just making it make sense. Okay. And the last 2 things here is my approach to life. My Venus is in my 1st house. So people are attracted to me because of my approach to life. And that's how I use my Venus sign. Okay. To attract people. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go through each and every single one of the places in that house for yourself, and you want to do those things. I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started, I didn't know how to really do first impressions. I didn't really understand what identity meant. I had to go inside of myself for months. Sometimes at one point, it was even years to understand that. I didn't understand that exercise would be such a fundamental piece because I have a Venus in the 1st house. I just now really understood how to really truly master that in the last year and a half as I've been working through this experience. Okay. So you really want to take your time and look at the house where you have your Venus, your 7th house. You want to look at the house where you have Libra so that you can understand and study yourself. What are you doing now? And what would you like to be doing in the ideal sense? Okay. Who interrupted me earlier? Who was that? What do you need?
I did. Sorry.
Why did you interrupt me?
And you were going on about the whole like Venus sign. So mine's a Cancer Venus in the 6th house, and I know that has to do with health and fitness. So like you said, going to gym, etc. And then it says analytical.
What house?
In the 6th house, Cancer Venus.
So
we're very emotional, anyways.
Yeah. What's your question?
So my question is like understanding that how can you be more attractive with like, I understand the health and fitness side, like if you take care of yourself, but then with like service given and pets and stuff, like I do a lot of horse riding. So I feel like a lot of people think that, oh, that's kind of attractive, but then work habits and sense of usefulness, how can you expand on that?
Someone else in the room, give us some ideas. And if y'all want me to, I don't mind, but I want you to guess actually, before anyone else does. You tell me, why would being useful or having a sense of usefulness be attractive? And how can you show that to someone?
Personally, I feel like if with a lot of people, if you feel useful or people need you, it seems like give me a second. What I'm trying to say is like when you're useful and stuff, I feel like people, appreciate it more. Or when you're helping others, then they're like, oh, cool, look, she has a sense of usefulness. She's around me all the time and she's helping me. So they tend, I don't know if that's something.
Perfect. So how can you publicly help people?
Community service, going out for like outreach programs. A lot of things that I personally do is like, donate clothes or have food hampers and stuff that I give to other people.
Okay. Slow down. How can you do that online? How can you help people online? What do you know that could help someone? Or what can you say that would help someone using the cancer? Using the cancer. Because the cancer, what does cancer do? What are the things that cancer does? Don't guess. We talked about it.
Oh, expressing your intuition.
Yes.
Okay.
And doing what else? What's the cardinal sign do?
It said something about, I have a picture of it, but lead and start. No, yes.
Yeah. So you need to lead, start, express your intuition, express yourself, and use your intuition. That is what you need to be doing with the 6th house.
Okay. Because I'm just going to quickly give a backstory. Like on Wednesday at my
Hold on. We do not have time for backstory.
Oh, okay. Because I understand what you're saying. I did a meditation thing and I did feel useful.
Hold on. Hold on. We have a whole presentation I'm not done with. There's a whole Q&A, and I promise.
Okay, perfect. But thank you for helping me so far.
Yes. Focus on what I'm saying. You're thinking way more. You're thinking about a backstory. I'm talking about your chart. Stay with me, please.
Yes, I'm here.
I promise. I've designed this. Lorelai even helped me. She's a Virgo. By the end of this, you'll have an answer. And if you don't, I will answer.
Perfect. I'll keep listening.
Do you trust me?
I trust you. Trust me.
Okay, cool. So, how do we manifest with Libra, everybody? Type it in the chat. And I'm going to take accountability. I should have kept everyone muted for that. Jeb says balance. We have not used that word in a long time, so that's incorrect. Daria says lead, start, manifest practically. How do we manifest anyone using our chart? Now we're completely derailed. Let's get back on track. 7th house, the house where Libra is, and the house where Virgo or Venus is. Okay. Venus, 7th house, Libra house. That is how you attract anyone. Okay. That's it. Coming up with meanings is going to be dependent on you and your lifestyle. All right. So this is the next layer. All right, everyone, how to attract anyone. And apologies if I'm coming off rude. We just have so much to cover, and I need you to pay attention. I need you to pay attention, and I need you to guess. Guess first, all right? Step one, you need to get clear about what you want in a relationship. Do you want someone who's going to hold you? Do you want someone who can talk to you? Do you want someone who you share money with? Or do you want someone who gives you money? Or do you want to give someone money? How do y'all interact with each other's parents? How do y'all travel? How do y'all talk? How do the two of you interact with children? Get clear about what that looks like. That's step one. Step two, give your wants to the universe. Once you've made that list, let it go. Release your person. If your person is away from you, trust that they're coming back. Don't hope for them to come back. Trust. Everyone type the word trust, because that's key. Your attraction relies on you trusting yourself. Every time I do a class, I trust that people are going to sign up. Every time I make a video, I trust that people are going to like it and comment and share it. I trust that it's going to go viral because people are engaging with it. The simple prayer I want you to say, the simple prayer that's going to help you with this, the simple prayer that's going to align this for you is, I step back and let the universe bring me my person. I step back and let the universe bring me my person. If you don't know the astrology of your chart, even though we just covered it for you, this is the next step. I step back and let the universe bring me my person. I've used this for years. I've dated more people since my large 2 relationships, which were like both 4, one was 5 years, one was 4 years, 9 years of relationships. I've dated and had better experiences using this prayer and variations of it. People that I never would have imagined dating, bringing me amazing, amazing lessons and things that I needed to learn. I just now realized last couple years, I shouldn't get married until I'm done with my Saturn return when I'm 30. I just looked at my chart. I'm going to be having some amazing things going on in my 7th house when I'm 31. So I know through astrology when I should actually get married, because I'll understand. And I am stepping back and letting the universe bring me my person, the universe being these planets on my arm, the planets that are around us. I'm letting the universe bring me my person. I'm not chasing. I'm not forcing the toxic relationship. I'm not questioning if the person who's hot or cold likes me or not. No. I'm stepping back. Everyone type in the chat, I step back and let the universe bring me my person. This is going to be the most potent way to affirm that your person is on their way to you. Step 3, do everything to support that feeling. There's something called the feeling state. There's something called the feeling state. So instead of you working and operating out of a place of lack, we're not even going to work with abundance here. We're going to strictly work with How do you feel with that person? And we're going to feel that now. We're going to feel that right now. And why is that important? Because when you choose your vibration and you walk around with that vibration of, oh, the person that loves me is forever making my life better, and I'm constantly improving. When you hold that energy in your body, you are going to change your own life and you are going to make your own life better. So you're going to draw this person closer to you because they are already at that frequency. And then you're going to bring that person to you easily. No effort. Except for the effort that you put into yourself. This does not work if you're desperate. Anything you are desperate for will not manifest. Anything you're desperately chasing won't manifest. It can't. If you're desperate towards a person, they're going to feel like you're being needy. If you're desperate for a job or for money, you're always looking for money. You're going to miss the opportunity right in your face. When I was desperate for money, when I was desperate for followers, that's when I got the least amount of followers. Just almost a year and a half ago, I had like 2,000, 3,000 followers. Only like a few people remember that time period because it was such a quick jump. I wanted 10,000 followers so bad so I could make people swipe up to book readings with me. That was my whole focus. Tatiana asks, why does desperation stop us from getting manifestations? Because you don't even think you have it. You don't even think you're worthy. That's what you're projecting. When you are desperate, you're like, I'm not even worthy. Have you ever been walking down the street and you see someone who's homeless or a beggar? The person who's like, have you ever met someone and they're begging you for $1? They're like, take it out of your wallet. Like, give me $1. I need it right now. It makes you not even want to, low key. Even if you are already planning to, it makes you feel like the vibration is just off. And then there's other people, let's just use the same example. They're homeless and they're just chilling. They're just sitting there. And they have a bucket or a can or a pail or a hat or something, or a musician's playing music. And people will just walk up and give money freely because that person isn't desperate. They're not pushing it away. When you operate out of desperation, you're putting that energy out and you're communicating to everything next to your energy, I don't deserve this, or I need to fight for this. So even if someone wanted to help you or love you or give you money or follow you, because you don't expect it, the desperation kicks in. I remember one time when I was dating someone, we went to bed. I had posted 3 posts that I never normally post. I was just kind of joking around. I just made 3 posts because we were about to go to sleep and I hadn't posted because we were hanging out all day. And I was like, yo, babe, I'm going to post these and then we can go to bed. I woke up Those 3 videos had over 750,000 views, and I gained like 25,000 followers just in one night, not even a full 12 hours. Because I was using my strategies for social media on TikTok. I gained 25,000 followers, and then I did it again. I went from like 400K to like 500K in one day because I wasn't desperate. I was just chilling. I expected people to follow me because I told them to. If they wanted to, I was like, if this resonates, follow me. And they did. So you have to let it go for the universe to handle it, like Naomi said. If you're desperate for love, for money, for followers, for change, for growth, to leave your situation, if you're desperate to leave it, you're going to stay there because you haven't learned it yet. You haven't figured out why you're there. And that's the real root. Treat things like you want them to be growing. Treat everything in your life like a garden. If you put too much soil in, it's not going to grow. If you put too much soil on top of the seed, it's not going to grow. If you put too much water over the seed or in your garden, if you water it too much, your plants are going to die. Everything in your life should feel like a manifestation. Water this a little bit, give it some time and some sunlight. Water this over here, give it some plants and some sunlight, some water and some sunlight, some soil. This is why you should not just be manifesting love and money and a new job or a new this or this and that. You should be using your chart to make sure that you're watering every single house. You should be giving every single house sunlight because there's 12 seasons, there's 12 months. Every month gives you light to a different part of your chart, and the emotions and the intuition that you pour into each part of your chart will manifest at the end of the year. The reason why everyone loves to start working out at the beginning of the year is because Aries rules the first house. But because the calendars are kind of off a little bit, everyone tries to start their long-term goals with working out in January during Capricorn season. But because they didn't plan out the workouts, because they didn't plan out how much they would be lifting, because they didn't plan out the next 2 years or next 3 months or the next 6 months of their workout or their meal plan or their nutrition, they give up or they fall off track. I do it all the time. I just yesterday sent Lorelai my workout plan. It literally has YouTube videos for each workout, how many reps, how many sets, Monday through Sunday. I just did that because I know if I don't do it, it's so easy for me to fall off. And for me to water this part of my garden, I need to tend to it because it was the last day of Virgo season. And Virgo has to do with health. Virgo has to do with routines. This is the last thing I did on Virgo season so that I would complete that cycle astrologically. This is how you can use astrology for your life, okay? So, how do you attract anyone? Stop focusing on them so much. Distance yourself from them, in fact. Not physically, not emotionally, not spiritually, but focus on enjoying yourself and how it will feel to be with them. Stop noticing their physical self only. Think about their energy. Get comfortable with your feeling state, because your feeling state will help you understand what you want and what they want, because you will know that they are yours fully and wholly forever, if that is what you want and that's what you believe. So with our manifestations, we want to write them down by hand. Step one is we want to write down the 10 things that we want, whether that's with a partner or with the person, with our career, with our business, with our income, with our relationships with people in our lives, our friends, our family, most importantly, with the universe. Step two, write that down 10 times. Write down your 10 desires and then take one and write it down 10 times on one piece of paper. Flip the page, write down the second one 10 times. Look to the next page, write down the third one 10 times. Flip the page, write down the fourth one 10 times. Look at the next page, write down the fifth one 10 times until you get to 10. And do this for 10 days. If you're struggling to manifest, we need to reprogram your mind. At this point, it's not that you're not capable, it's that you don't believe in yourself. This is why I started the Discord channels, to have a support system for people who don't believe in themselves. And even these next few weeks, the next goal is to really shift everyone's mindset around how they communicate with themselves, because that's what's really stopping your manifestations. Is the thing that you're thinking, you don't think you can manifest it because you don't even think that it's real yet. So what's the last thing you need to do? You need to take action. If you want the best lover or the best relationship or the best job or the best career, you can't keep working the same job. You can't keep dating the same person. You can't keep attracting the same type of things in the same way and expect a different outcome. It doesn't work like that. Never will. Following through is massive. Being consistent is huge. Staying disciplined is huge. Trusting the process is huge, because it's so important. Right now, a lot of economies are going to start failing. Pluto in Capricorn in America's chart, we've seen this inflation coming. We know, everyone knows what's coming next. If you've studied economics or even heard of economics, you know what happens when things go up, 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 up. This is a really good time for you to learn how to attract the right people through social media. Why social media? Because you can't walk outside and meet 30 people at once for doing one thing. You can't walk outside and have 10,000 people follow you for something you didn't know. You can online though. Okay? Be consistent, stay disciplined, trust the process. Following through is so important. Join the Discord. Lorelai just put the Discord link in the chat for you. Join the Discord. Next. And by the way, real quick, everyone type 888 in the chat if what I'm saying is resonating with you. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, if this is helping you, type 888 in the chat so I know that we're in alignment with each other. The goal here is to help you manifest. And I genuinely believe a lot of you have the potential to do so through consistency, discipline, and trust. Okay? If you want to attract people to your business, you have to have goals for your business. You need to create specific and realistic goals. One of the goals that I had for myself last year was to have 200,000 followers. After I had hit 120, I was like, how do I hit 200? Guess what I did? I looked at my analytics on TikTok and I looked at all the best videos, the ones that got me the most followers. Can someone guess what I did? When I found out the videos that did the best, what did I do with that information? Because it was during Libra season. What did I do during that season? I wanted more followers. I went and found the best videos. I wanted 200,000. I made a goal. That's what I did. I made a goal. I had 120. I wanted 200. I made a goal. I wrote it in my journal. I focused on what I could control. What could I control? The videos that I'm posting and the times that I'm posting and what I'm talking about. So my goal was to get followers. My goal wasn't to post. I actually removed that whole idea out. Jana says, I listened and communicated. Exactly. Because it was Libra season, I focused on what I could control. So when people like, follow, comment, share, or when you meet someone and you like them and they tell you they like you, they want to hang out with you, they want to spend time with you. This is how you can focus on what you can control. If someone's wanting to engage with you, engage with them back. If your goal is to fall in love, to gain followers, to make money, you need to be listening to what they're showing you, not what they're saying, but what they're showing you with their actions. Everyone type the word actions, and you need to move accordingly. Ignore the naysayers. Surround yourself with people who are supportive of your ideas and goals, not the opposite. So when I was growing a lot of the early growth on TikTok, people were like, bro, you're always on TikTok. People would come to my house to hang out with me. And when I would make a TikTok video, they'd be like, do you just do that all day? And I'd be like, you hit me up in my DMs asking me to hang out because you saw me online and thought of me. I obviously stopped hanging out with those people. Ignore the naysayers, because people will judge you because they're not taking action on their things, because they don't know their goals, because they don't focus on what they can control. They want to come and disrupt you. How many of you have dated someone and your parents are like, they're like, oh, don't move too fast. Or your parents are like, oh, don't say I love you, or don't do this, or try not to do this with people. Or your friends are like, oh, I heard this about this person. And you're like, what does that have to do with what's going on now? Ignore the naysayers. Another big thing, forgive yourself for your failures. You're human. You're supposed to make mistakes. That's how we make victories. If you don't make any mistakes, you can't ever find success. It's just not possible. How many of you are scared to fail? How many of you are scared to fail? I want to tell you something. If you're scared to fail, you're also scared to succeed, because without failure, you cannot succeed. It's actually the most important ingredient. All those people who go to the gym who have big muscles, guess what? They had to lose their strength for them to tear that muscle open. For them to really get strong, you need to tear the muscles. And then when the muscles repair themselves, they get bigger. If you're trying to lose fat and gain muscle or gain strength, you should expect to gain a pound of muscle to 2 pounds of muscle every month. By the end of 2 years, you will have a beautiful physique. A lot of people, they want to work out and get results in a few months. It's not realistic. That's not a good goal. That's not focused. And if you're If you're, participating with the naysayers, you're not going to give yourself the opportunity to fail in the gym, in life, in relationships. Because if you don't fail, how are you going to learn? This is why you need to get a mentor. How many of you have had a mentor before? How many of you have had someone to generally give you their experience and their advice and their feedback? How many of you have had a big brother or a big sister who can genuinely give you real feedback on something that you are struggling with? If you haven't had that, that's delaying your manifestations. I don't know if y'all have ever watched cartoons or Disney Channel or movie. I think every Disney movie with the princess movies, the princess always has a mentor. She always has an older woman or an older figure that she can go talk to that gives her advice. Every single character is important once they have. How many of you have heard of Naruto? Naruto had a mentor. Goku had a mentor. I know y'all are anime heads like me or whatever. I'm not even an anime head anymore, but like every single character in every single story has a mentor. You can't do this by yourself. And your friends are actually sometimes not the best because they're too close to you. Sometimes your friends are actually your competition. So having a mentor, someone who's at a distance from you, they know they're 10 years ahead of you, 20 years ahead of you. They're not thinking, they don't even care if you catch up. In fact, they kind of want you to catch up so they have someone to talk to. You need to have a mentor who wants your best interest, someone who wants you to succeed. Like that's literally their primary function. If you have friends that when you make a mistake, they tell you you made a mistake and you need to fix it, that's a good friend. If you have friends when something's going wrong, they're strictly there to comfort you and tell you everything's going to be okay, that is not a conducive relationship for manifestation. I had to learn this the hard way because I thought my friends were there to comfort me. No, your friends are here to be with you on your journey. And if you're not moving forward, where are you going? This is why mentors are so valuable. So this is how I can help you. I give immediate readings where I will help you figure out your direction. I'll help you figure out your blocks with astrology, with social media, and with your life. I've been transitioning into a life coach. I wanted to wait until I was closer to 30. We're here now. I've experienced life. Have any of you ever seen someone who's 22 and they're like, I'm a life coach? And you're like, weren't you just at the bar last night? Has anyone ever seen a really young life coach? Those are the best. Those are the best. So I offer readings where I can look at your chart and help you figure things out from an astrological sense. The other piece is, if you want to join the group coaching, I have an upcoming group coaching where I've not only solidified how you can learn astrology, but the next step is how you can start making money through your website, how you can start building a website that will bring you money to pay for your bills and help you buy food for your family, and that will allow you the freedom to travel. These are things that I'm actively doing. I'm teaching you from experience because fear, inconsistency, and money can create blocks. My one-on-one coaching is me literally doing it for you. I do 80% of the work, 75 to 80 to 85% of the work. You just need to show up. I'll make your content. I'll tell you what to post. I'll tell you what colors to use. I'll tell you everything. We get one-on-one coaching strategies. That's all these prices here, the readings are $250, the group classes are, you know, $500, just under. The one-on-one coaching is $1,000 a month. Would y'all say that those prices are appropriate based on everything that I've shared with you today? Would you say those prices are appropriate, or are they way too far-fetched? Now, take a look here at some of the other clients that I've worked with just this year. This is just this year. I've worked with Masha. Masha, when I met her, had 170,000 followers. We were able to get her to 254. I want to take a quick look right now at Masha, just to show you the impact of coaching. The impact of coaching is so valuable. So when we look at the presentation, Masha had how many followers? I met her at 171. The picture, the screenshot that I just showed you, how many did she have? Who has a good memory? She had 254 just a month or so after we stopped working. Now, Masha's at 386,000 followers. When I met Masha, what I helped her with was figuring out how she would be using her Pisces sun progression. She's an Aries sun. When I met her, her sun had just gone into Pisces. She went from a fitness coach, which screams Aries. Now she's dancing and she's doing ASMR. How many of you have heard of ASMR? This video hit 1.2 million. Oh. We were able to switch her from doing fitness coaching to doing what she wanted to do, which is using her voice. And it was so seamless because of the astrology that we were able to utilize. It was so easy. And now she's killing it. When I met her, her views were all up and down. Now she's doing exactly what she wants to do, doing ASMR. And she went from 170,000 followers to 380. How many more? Her followers more than doubled. If I'm doing that math correctly, 170 times plus 170, 17 plus 17, 32, 34. She more than doubled her following just this year using the techniques that we talked about through astrology. Of course, she's an amazing content creator and she works very hard. She's making well over $10,000 a month, okay? Now, I've had other clients that I've had this level of success with as well. I did this with Daddy Saturn. I did this with Voodoo Priestman. I did this with Rita. I did this with Naya. I just talked to Naya the other day. We're about to start working on another project. I'm so excited because she's a Sagittarius. So good. Look at more people I've helped. Maxine went from a few hundred followers to 54,000. Megan Megan's well over 50K right now, by the way. Megan went to 3 of these classes that you're watching now, and she did everything that I said. And she posts and posts and posts, and she was able to grow her following. Madison came to me and told me, yo, Sonny, how do you get your views so high? Like, how are you doing this? I gave her some tips. I told her some of my secrets. And she started she sent these screenshots. I didn't send these. She sent these directly to me. She said, bro, 15K, 36K, I have never had these kind of views in so long. Boom, she hits me with more, all right? We also did this for Rita. Rita went from 1,000 followers to 15,000 followers. How many of you are interested in this? How many of you would like to have these type of results? How many of you would like to learn how to read your chart, how to grow your following, how to make money from your phone? This is what I have for you. This is a really good deal. I showed it to you a little too soon. This is what I want to give you. Okay? The readings, instead of the $250, you can get a reading from me for $100 off, and I will give you this information one-on-one. The best deal, the most important deal, is if you want to learn astrology. I have already done this group coaching. You can get it for today for $55 a month. You will get access to, every week, you'll have access to a different module, and I will teach you how to read your chart, and I will also help you understand how to grow your following on social media. This is so cool, because now you can start to leave your 9-to-5 and actually have a plan that you can follow from someone who's done it, and also someone who's helped other people do it. That's the biggest piece. Nock asked US dollars, yes. $55 US a month to have access to gaining thousands of followers, making thousands of dollars, and understanding yourself. Now, I'm only doing this for the next 50 people. I'm going to be very clear. The next 50 people are the ones who are going to be able to get this $55 a month price point. Everyone else is going to spend closer to $100, closer to $200 a month. I want to see who's willing to jump on the opportunity, because if you can see how to change your life and have people around you that can help you do it, this is going to help you long term. Making videos, selling stuff online is not going anywhere soon. Master this now so the next 5 to 10 years makes sense to you. The next thing you're going to also get is one-on-one coaching. Instead of $900, the one-on-one coaching is going to be $777. Now, the best deal really is going to be the $55, 55 cent a month option. I'm telling you this because not only is it less expensive, but I'm more focused right now on helping more people. The more people I can serve, the better. I already have a free course that I'm giving out. I already do these free classes. I want to give something to you for a price that makes sense. This is a no-brainer. Unless it's still, if it's something that you have to think about, I don't even want you in. I don't even want you in. If this is something that you have to think about, please don't join. Because This is going to give you everything that you need to succeed. We're going to have weekly meetings, which are going to be fire. I'm going to be able to teach you different strategies and tools to make money every week. I'm going to teach you something that I learned about astrology every week. If you have to think about this, don't join. Genuinely. How many of you are interested in any of these services? Because this is my special offer to you to help you get through your inconsistencies, your fear, your money blocks. If you're interested, I'm going to be answering questions for you. I appreciate all of you sitting through the presentation. It went a little bit over, of course, because we were using real life examples. But if you want to hop in to any of these services, I just put in the chat for you how to hop into the $55.55 a month to watch all of the content that I've created for you, to grow your following, to read your chart. And if you even want to become a reader, that's completely normal. That's fine. I actually would love to see that happen as well. There's 42 spots. I just launched it this morning. I haven't even made any TikToks about it. I haven't even talked to anyone about it. There's already 42 spots left. Okay. So people are definitely going to get this. Are you going to be involved? Who has questions? Please raise your hand using the settings and I'll unmute you. Just use the settings to talk and we can talk about questions that have to do with astrology. We can talk about things that have to do with social media, and we'll just spend a little time there. Tatiana, what's up?
Okay. I have a question about a post that I saw that you put on Instagram.
Oh, I can't hear. Okay, keep going.
That was like, it said that when you have 12 house placements, if you're not going out of your country, like your placements will still play a role in your life. Like you will keep on repeating lessons. And I wanted some more insights on this because I do have 12 house placements. And for example, in my home country, I was kind of in seclusion and imprisonment situations, and I really would like to get out of those. So I wanted some more insight on it if you know about it.
I'm a 12th house sun. What you're saying is true. I don't really have more insights for you outside of leave and travel more, or just leave that town more often. And you'll understand why it's important when you get to where you're going. It's not, if you're staying there and you're experiencing things that you don't like, I have to tell you, you should just leave. If you're not getting the life that you want in the place that you're at right now, and you know that you're a 12th house person too, it's a really good time to just listen to the universe and leave. Go wherever you want. Just don't stay there. The world's too big. Oh, I think you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to say, yeah, I feel that, but for the time being, I still haven't found like a way of income, so I still haven't figured out that part of going away if I don't have that one. But yeah, totally.
You figured out what part?
A source of income. Like I'm still very young, and I still haven't had a job, and I didn't find out like a way of income up until now.
Yeah, this is why I made this school, so that I could teach people like you how to make money from your phone.
Yeah, but I don't feel like social media is totally the thing for me. That's why like I don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't need to show your face to make money. That's not the only way.
Mm-hmm.
I never said that.
Okay.
Yeah, even now, I don't know if you've noticed, I don't even post as much as I used to, because I have a whole website that is making me money. I don't even need to post as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many ways to make money. You don't need a job. And if you wanted a job, you would have one.
Actually, I'm looking into it, but
you know that's not what you want.
Yeah, it's not.
So you need to, like I said before, you need to get really good at what is your goal. If you know you need a certain amount of money every month, that's what you need to focus on. And then you need to create the thing that's going to help you do that. Everything else should not even matter. If you really want to leave, if you really want to make money, everything else needs to go away. You got to get rid of all of the distractions, because you're wasting your own time. You're young, but that's not an excuse. I know several 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds that are making 6, 7, 8 figures, making sales from products online. They know how to, e-commerce and social media are massive right now.
I have a North Node in Gemini in the 11th house, and like while I was listening to you, what I had most ideas on, I'm also a projector, was like create some kind of humanitarian organization. Like even when you're talking about TikTok being a better search engine than Google, I was thinking about ways to make that happen, like create a new user interface. But for that, I feel like I need the connections, and that's something I still have to work on.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next step. Like I told you before, I never planned on being an astrologer. I never planned on being a content creator. I did it because it's what the world is doing. I didn't choose this, it chose me. I'm still shy. Every day I make videos, I still think about not posting. I don't teach astrology because I want to. I teach astrology because it's my purpose. I don't post videos because I want to. I post videos because it serves my purpose. If I could just walk outside and talk about astrology at a restaurant, I would do that, but that's not how this works. You have to do things that you don't like to manifest what you do like.
Is it correct to say that your North Node, like including the house, is a bit even more accurate than you have in terms of being more specific about what you should do as a long-term career?
100%. The moment I started focusing on my North Node, I started making more money. I'm sitting in Dubai. I'm from a place called Minnesota, which is very, 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 very far. It's probably exactly on the opposite side of the world. The moment I started using my North Node, celebrities from around the world started talking to me and asking for my help. Trust it. If you don't do it, if you don't use it, you're really just missing the point. The more you think, the less you're doing. And that's like, you're just wasting time. Does anyone else have a question? About your chart, about social media, yeah, raise your hand, because I would unmute everyone, but we've already had too many interruptions. So just raise your hand and I will answer you. And you only get like one question or like maybe two, because I want to make sure everyone gets talked to, and it doesn't just turn into anything outside of a Q&A. So, cool.
Okay. Sorry, now I kind of like went blank. Definitely want to get an inside reading with you, but I don't know how long is this spatial price reading is on for? Because I'm traveling soon, and I've been saving up my money for the trips, and I'm just a bit, but I know I'm gonna find the money because I know I really need this. I really need an inside reading. 18th of October is my birthday. I'm turning 40, and I feel a massive something is coming, change.
Yeah, there's 2 eclipses coming up in Taurus and in Taurus and in Scorpio. And I'm going to be making videos about those today or tomorrow. They are going to completely change the world.
Okay. So is that the reading price is going to be that price? Is it on the website? Is it going to change?
That price is going to change. You have until Monday.
Okay.
It might be, when I say Monday, I mean Sunday midnight.
Sunday midnight.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the question. But can I ask a question about this manifestation we were talking about?
Of course. Yeah. Everyone gets
yes. So you said, what we've been learning. So that what I understood about manifestation, the new moon in Libra, is to look at the house, which is the house is a sun sign. Is it a sun sign?
The house where Libra is in your chart is your sun sign, because you're a Libra.
Yes, that's right. I'm a Libra, and it's in 9th house, and the Venus is in 9th house as well. But and you said Libra runes 7th house, so I have to look on the 7th house and so let's say you just showed that pictures. Let's say 7th house is I have Leo in 7th house.
Yeah.
So, and Leo rules 5th house. So that's mean to manifesting this new moon Libra, I have to look at the 5th house, the 7th house, and the 9th house. Is that correct?
If you want to go deep, that deep, yes.
Okay.
I showed you. So there's so many techniques. This is why it's so important. This is why I'm offering the coaching, is because that is just the beginning. What I'm showing you, and the thing is, the beginning is complicated, so I can't even show you the rest right now, right? Yeah. Because you still have to stomach this part. So yeah, if your sun sign is Libra and it's in the 9th house, definitely traveling, just by you traveling, you're active, you're manifesting right there.
Yeah, I'm traveling on the 19th to Europe.
That's there right away is you manifesting.
And I'm going to a yoga course as well.
Perfect. And whatever you write down in alignment with the traveling, in alignment with yoga, yoga is not exercise. Yoga is a philosophy, which is
it's a lot of wisdom and philosophies. 9th house, yeah, it's absolutely aligned with what I'm going to do.
And it's Libra season, so the sun is shining on your 9th house, and your natural sun, your natal sun, is in the 9th house too. So this is something called a solar return. Every time you have a birthday, you have a solar return.
Okay, thank you. Solar return. I'll look into that.
Yeah. And I can, of course, do it for you because we're actually talking about it right now. So you don't even need to look it up. I'm telling you. But
okay.
Your 7th house, because you're going to another country, this is gonna open up your 7th house. Because you're a Libra, it's gonna make relationships, marriage, business partner sharing, interpersonal style easier for you.
Okay.
And because the 7th house is Leo, if you wanted to go another layer deeper in the technique, then you could look at your 5th house, and this would tell both of us, oh, this is a place where Europe is going to be a very romantic place for you. It's going to be a very creative space for you. You might see a lot of kids. A little boy or a little girl might accidentally think that you're their mom. You might hear, wherever you're staying, you might stay near a school with little children.
Yeah.
Or you might feel the nostalgia of, someone that you knew when you were younger who's from another country.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we can start to plan using astrology. And when you do the reading, the school, or the one-on-one coaching, it's going to help you predict that accurately.
I'll definitely look into the reading so I can get more in depth.
For sure. I'm excited. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
So someone asked, how does the one-on-one coaching work? So the one-on-one coaching is great. I love coaching people one-on-one. For the $777, what you're getting is you're going to get access to all of the courses I've made on TikTok for business, the Astrology for Business, which we just finished. You're also going to have one-on-one meetings with me multiple times in the month, and we're going to decide what that looks like. So I just had someone sign up yesterday for the one-on-one coaching. What we're doing is we're just going to talk every single day within 24 hours. So she asks me a question, voice messages me, I answer her within 24 hours. Most of the time it's way less than that because I'm on my phone talking to other people. The only days that I take off are Sundays and Mondays. The other thing is I'm going to plan your content. If we're focused on social media, I'm going to plan your content, design it, tell you what to post, when to post. If we're focused on spirituality, which I've worked with other people, I've worked with celebrities on this level, I'm just going to teach you how to do spell work with your chart, which is going to be the next step. Is actually now that I've taught the manifest with astrology, I'm going to start talking about spell work with astrology, doing spell work, using candles, using planetary days, using planetary hours, because this is where you can start to design your life. I wouldn't be in Dubai if I didn't know how to use this stuff, if I wasn't testing it myself. Am I still recording? Absolutely. So the biggest thing is when we start to do the one-on-one coaching, you really are gaining access to everything that I know, and I can just give you value. If you're someone who wants to start an online store and you want to go from 2,000 to 8,000, 16,000, I'm going to teach you all the techniques that I have used so that we can do this. And if you'd like to have a private talk about getting into the one-on-one, I do have a 15-minute assessment where we can talk. It's not a reading. It's just to talk about, to see if you're a good fit. Because I do want to see if you're a good fit. You can also see that on my website. You can just book that right now on my Once Hub, the go.oncehub.com/SunnyMFmoney. You can book that 15-minute meeting and we can talk about that, or you can shoot me an email. Once you get signed up, I'll send you a contract and we can work one-on-one and I can guide you. I've had people go from stay-at-home moms to they're performing on stage, you know, as an artist, which is crazy because we did that in like 4 months. That was so fast, but I had her doing so much spell work that it really wasn't that fast in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, does anyone else want to raise your hand and ask a question? Safira, also, I think you just messaged me. We can definitely talk. Like I said, just schedule that meeting on my website and we'll do the 15-minute assessment to see if you're a good fit for one-on-one coaching, or if group coaching would be better, or if a reading would be a better fit. Tatiana, you've already asked a couple questions. I'm gonna give some space to let other people ask questions now. And I'll take you last because you went first. Lorelai just put the link in the bio for the readings for you. So go ahead and check that out. And make sure that you hop into the assessment or pick the reading type that works best for you. The length, excuse me. Anyone else have questions? Joy, Jashan, Macy, Fernanda, Alyssa, Lorelai, Safira. Any of you have questions about anything? Thank you so much, Lorelai, for putting the link in there also. All right, Tatiana, you get one more question. No more part 1, part 2, just one more question. Whenever you're ready. You're super welcome, Alyssa.
What I have is not exactly a question. It is just a suggestion that I didn't see.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Come closer to the mic, or whatever you can do to fix it a little bit more.
Can you hear me now?
Way better.
Okay. My question is not a question. It is a suggestion that I didn't see in any other creators up until now, in terms of like astrology, is making a video or something on
spiritual careers for every midheaven. If you could do that.
I can definitely do that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
only that. You're
That's
welcome.
so nice of you. I appreciate you.
It's okay.
Thank you. Lorelai, we're gonna make that video. It's funny, I have a list already made for that. I just needed you to bring it up. So thank you. I'll make that video right after this. I have to go. I have a meeting. I appreciate all of you so much. And it's been amazing talking to you all. This video will be posted roughly 24-ish hours. Lorelai and I need to look at it, and I might just post it, but we need to like work it. So I love all of you. I'm excited to see what you do and excited to see what you manifest. I would love to hear from you. If you want to shoot me a DM on Instagram or an email about what you enjoyed from this class, what you learned, I would love to hear from you. And of course, I'll give you a gift to incentivize your engagement. I would love to have you tell me what you enjoyed and what you liked. Make sure to join the Discord channel as well. The Discord channel is wide open for us. It's a really great space for us to talk and communicate and have a support system. And there's people in there that know astrology that can help you answer questions as well. And we're going to be using Discord way more as the year comes to an end so that we can communicate. I'm going to be going live in there weekly. And if you're in the Discord, you'll just see that. So there's 2,000 people already in the Discord. Definitely jump in. It's going to be a vibe. Lorelai and Alyssa are both always willing to help people. It's really cool. It's really cool. So I'm so excited to see you all. I'm so excited to work with you. I'm so excited to see how you manifest with this new moon. And again, shoot me a message about what you learned, what you enjoyed, what you'd like to see more of. I would love to give that to you. I think that's, the whole point of Libra season is to listen and communicate and to lead and start. So I'm gonna lead and lead me also. Go ahead. I'm excited. I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.